Section 4 of Hero and Leander. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Martin Geeson. Hero and Leander by Christopher Marlowe and George Chapman. Section 4. The second Sestiad, Part 1. The argument. Hero of love takes deeper sense, and doth her love more recompense. Their first night's meeting, where sweet kisses are the only crowns of both their blisses. He swims to Abydos and returns. Cold Neptune with his beauty burns, whose suit he shuns, and doth aspire Hero's fair tower and his desire. By this sad Hero, with love unacquainted, viewing Leander's face, fell down and fainted. He kissed her, and breathed life into her lips, wherewith, as one displeased, away she trips. Yet as she went, full often looked behind, and many poor excuses did she find to linger by the way, and once she stayed, and would have turned again, but was afraid, in offering parley, to be counted light. So on she goes, and in her idle flight her painted fan of curled plumes let fall, thinking to train Leander therewithal. He, being a novice, knew not what she meant, but stayed, and after her a letter sent, which joyful Hero answered in such sort as he had hoped to scale the beauteous fort wherein the liberal Graces locked their wealth, and therefore to her tower he got by stealth. Wide open stood the door, he need not climb, and she herself before the pointed time had spread the board, with roses strewed the room, and oft looked out, and mused he did not come. At last he came. Oh, who can tell the greeting these greedy lovers had at their first meeting? He asked, she gave, and nothing was denied, both to each other quickly were affied. Look how their hands, so were their hearts united, and what he did, she willingly requited. Sweet are the kisses, the embracements sweet, when like desires and like affections meet. For from the earth to heaven is Cupid raised, where fancy is in equal balance paised. Yet she this rashness suddenly repented, and turned aside, and to herself lamented, as if her name and honour had been wronged, by being possessed of him for whom she longed. Ay, and she wished, albeit not from her heart, that he would leave her turret and depart. The mirthful god of amorous pleasure smiled to see how he this captive nymph beguiled. For hitherto he did but fan the fire, and kept it down, that it might mount the higher. Now waxed she jealous, lest his love abated, fearing her own thoughts made her to be hated. Therefore unto him hastily she goes, And like light Salmacis her body throws Upon his bosom, where with yielding eyes She offers up herself a sacrifice, To slake his anger, if he were displeased. O what god would not therewith be appeased? Like Aesop's cock, this jewel he enjoy'd, And as a brother with his sister toy'd, Supposing nothing else was to be done, Now he her favour and good will had won. But know you not that creatures wanting sense By nature have a mutual appetence, And wanting organs to advance a step, Moved by love's force unto each other lep? Much more in subjects having intellect Some hidden influence breeds like effect. Albeit Leander, rude in love and raw, Long dallying with Hero, nothing saw That might delight him more, Yet he suspected some amorous rites or other Were neglected. Therefore unto his body hers he clung, She, fearing on the rushes to be flung, Strived with redoubled strength. The more she strived, the more a gentle pleasing heat revived, Which taught him all that elder lovers know, And now the same 'gan so to scorch and glow, As in plain terms, yet cunningly, he crave it. Love always makes those eloquent that have it. She, with a kind of granting, put him by it, And ever, as he thought himself most nigh it, Like to the tree of Tantalus, she fled, And seeming lavish, saved her maidenhead. Ne'er king more sought to keep his diadem Than Hero this inestimable gem. Above our life we love a steadfast friend, Yet when a token of great worth we send, We often kiss it, often look thereon, And stay the messenger that would be gone. No marvel then, though Hero would not yield So soon to part from that she dearly held. Jewels being lost are found again, This never; 'tis lost but once, And once lost, lost for ever. Now had the Morn espied her lover's steeds, Whereat she starts, puts on her purple weeds, And red for anger that he stay'd so long, All headlong throws herself the clouds among. And now Leander, fearing to be missed, Embraced her suddenly, took leave and kissed. Long was he taking leave, and loath to go, And kissed again, as lovers use to do. Sad Hero wrung him by the hand, and wept, Saying, "Let your vows and promises be kept." Then standing at the door, she turned about, As loath to see Leander going out. And now the sun, that through the horizon peeps, As pitying these lovers, downward creeps, So that in silence of the cloudy night, Though it was morning, did he take his flight. But what the secret, trusty night conceal'd, Leander's amorous habit soon reveal'd. With Cupid's myrtle was his bonnet crowned, About his arms the purple riband wound, Wherewith she wreathed her largely spreading hair. Nor could the youth abstain, but he must wear The sacred ring wherewith she was endowed, When first religious chastity she vowed, Which made his love through Sestos to be known, And thence unto Abydos sooner blown Than he could sail. For incorporeal fame, whose weight consists in nothing but her name, Is swifter than the wind, whose tardy plumes Are reeking water and dull earthly fumes. Home when he came, he seemed not to be there, But like exiled air thrust from his sphere, Set in a foreign place, and straight from thence, Alcides like, by mighty violence, He would have chased away the swelling main, That him from her unjustly did detain. Like as the sun in a diameter Fires and inflames objects removed far, And heateth kindly, shining laterally, So beauty sweetly quickens when 'tis nigh, But being separated and removed, Burns where it cherish'd, murders where it loved. Therefore, even as an index to a book, So to his mind was young Leander's look. Oh, none but gods have power their love to hide. Affection by the countenance is descried. The light of hidden fire itself discovers, And love that is concealed betrays poor lovers. His secret flame apparently was seen, Leander's father knew where he had been, And for the same mildly rebuked his son, Thinking to quench the sparkles new begun. But love resisted once grows passionate, And nothing more than counsel lovers hate. For as a hot proud horse highly disdains To have his head controlled, but breaks the reins, Spits forth the ringled bit, and with his hoofs Checks the submissive ground, so he that loves, The more he is restrained, the worse he fares. What is it now but mad Leander dares? O hero, hero, thus he cried full oft, And then he got him to a rock aloft, Where having spied her tower, long stared he on't, And prayed the narrow toiling Hellespont To part in twain, that he might come and go. But still the rising billows answered, No. With that he stripped him to the ivory skin, And crying, Love, I come, leaped lively in. Whereat the sapphire visaged god grew proud, And made his capering Triton sound aloud, Imagining that Ganymede, displeased, had left the heavens, therefore on him he seized. Leander strived, the waves about him wound, And pulled him to the bottom, where the ground Was strewed with pearl, and in low coral groves Sweet singing mermaids sported with their loves On heaps of heavy gold, and took great pleasure To spurn in careless sort the shipwreck treasure. For here the stately azure palace stood, where kingly Neptune and his train abode. The lusty god embraced him, called him love, and swore he never should return to Jove. But when he knew it was not Ganymede, for under water he was almost dead, he heaved him up, and looking on his face, beat down the bold waves with his triple mace, which mounted up, intending to have kissed him, and fell in drops like tears, because they missed him. Leander, being up, began to swim, and looking back, saw Neptune follow him. Whereat, aghast, the poor soul gan to cry, "O let me visit Hero ere I die." The god put Heli's bracelet on his arm, and swore the sea should never do him harm. He clapped his plump cheeks, with his tresses played, and smiling wantonly his love bewrayed. He watched his arms, and as they opened wide at every stroke, betwixt them he would slide, and steal a kiss, and then run out and dance, and as he turned, cast many a lustful glance, and throw him gaudy toys to please his eye, and dive into the water, and there pry upon his breast, his thighs, and every limb, and up again, and close beside him swim, and talk of love. Leander made reply, "You are deceived. I am no woman, I." End of Section 4. Recording by Martin Geeson in Haslemere, Surrey.